What's up, guys? Hope everybody has had a great weekend. Happy to be back with episode 6 of my golf vlog series, this time at Raspberry Falls Golf and Hunt Club. This place holds a lot of great memories for me, as it was the site where I qualified for the Callaway Junior World Championship in 2013. If you guys are curious to see how I ended up doing that tournament, I'll put a link in the description to the leaderboard and all that stuff. I also wanted to announce that I'll be doing a Q&A video this weekend, so feel free to put any questions you guys would like to ask in the comments, and I'll try to get back to as many of them as I can in the video. So that being said, let's get into it. So, start off with a pretty good drive here. I actually did tee off about 7:45 in the morning, so it was probably 44, 45 degrees and windy, so obviously that means speeds are going to be down, and distances are going to probably be a little lower too. Although I won't spoil it, but I hit probably one of the longest drives I've ever hit on the golf course a little bit later in this video. So stay tuned for that. So these greens were also just rolled. So I think these greens were probably rolling at a 12, maybe even a 12 and a half in the stimp. These were very fast. So kind of remember this golf course a little bit. I haven't played it since I think I was 15 or 16 last time I played it in a tournament. I do remember this first hole. If you hit it past that hole there, towards the camera, it'll roll off the front of the green. So just being very careful there. And we already have a sound up section of the video here. Even though it's probably 8:05 in the morning, still getting some pretty good compression on the golf ball there. So off to a decent start. Now we've got 185 yards left. Second shot with an 8-iron. Already starting to get pretty windy out here, so I know this is going to be a pretty long day for me because I've always battled the wind. So you can see I pull this one a little bit. The wind does do a good job of holding it off and keeping it from going way into trouble. So ended up just a little bit short left. Just got hung up in the rough just a bit. So I got a little 54-degree wedge bump and run here. And you guys will see how fast these greens really are here. Just check this out. I thought it would be maybe 6 feet away, and look at that ball roll. So that's what I remembered. This course being the toughest was the greens. It was always a battle trying to get the ball in the hole without hitting the putt too many times. So got about a 10-12 footer back up the hill. Saved my par. Did not hit a very good putt. It was a little timid on that putt. I think sometimes when you see a ball roll by as far as mine did, you can get a little scared on the putt coming back, which is the last thing you want to do. So hole 3, par 4, 479 yards, and it was downwind. You can hear the wind bristling here pretty good. And I hit this drive really good. And yep, that's a 417-yard carry. Just shows what condition does, because the wind was blowing dead downwind, elevation, all that. And you'll see here, you can see the size of that pitch mark right in front of the ball. So that was all carry. Would have been cool to see if it was 80 degrees and downwind and rolling, how far I could have hit it. Maybe I might even hit it 500 yards. Who knows? So just a little flip wedge left here. Really straightforward shot. And I think this goes to probably 3 or 4 feet just below the hole. Pretty much an ideal shot there. So now I've got just a little bit left here. Slight right to left breaker. Plainest, I think, inside right maybe. And yeah, breaks right in there. Stays just inside the cup. And so I get that shot back. I dropped on hole 2. So decent little start here. Hole 4, even par, par 5, 549 yards. And sound up again. So compressing that one pretty good there too. Speeds are starting to creep up a little bit. It is, still probably about 48 degrees, 50 degrees, and when my speed will crash pretty good when it's that cold. Sound up again. So that was another pretty good compressed shot there. Speed jumped up a little bit there actually, and that was only with a 4-iron. I thought this would be right on the money, but the wind actually carried it. I thought it would hurt a little bit. And when you have a really severe crosswind, you gotta be very careful to make sure you're diagnosing whether it's into you or it's blowing out with you. And if you misdiagnose it like I did here, you'll end up in very bad stuff. And as you can see, I only hit it maybe 2 yards. I was in bad stuff there. Still bit in the high stuff here, just trying to get it out onto the green. And another not so great shot. And to the point I was saying earlier, if you have a direct crosswind, especially at my speeds, the wind being slightly into you across versus slightly downwind across can be a 40-yard difference. So if you mess it up on that, that's where you're going to end up. So you always got to be careful with that. So my putt for par, just making a total mess of this hole. That was in a great position off the tee and extremely pathetic bogey there, to say the least. So I wasn't too happy with that one. So hole 5, 1 over, par 3, 205 yards, and it was dead. It was, I don't think it was quite dead end into the wind, but it was pretty hard from the right, maybe a little bit hurting. So I was choking way down. And again, just trying to keep this ball as close to the ground as I can, because you just, when you get it up in that air, you're at the mercy of the wind, and the more spin you put on the ball, and I put a lot of spin on the ball because of my speed, it's just bad news. So I hit a really good shot to get it on the green here. So I have a pretty makeable birdie. It's like about 25 feet, bit up the hill, breaking from my left to right. Great line, and I just left it short. And I've said this again and again, and I really need to start taking my own advice. Got to stop leaving these putts short, especially when they're for birdie and you have an opportunity to get a shot. So on hole 6, still 1 over, par 4, only 333 yards. Wasn't able to get the TrackMan numbers on this because I couldn't quite put the TrackMan down. But you can hear there a little nice compression sound again. Bled this one off to the right. So wasn't the best spot to miss. Kind of in some of that hay right there. Wasn't a terrible lie, actually. I did just avoid the really bad stuff you see right behind me. So about 52 yards left. I was able to get the club on it pretty good. And you'll see in the right corner here, the ball come down. So probably about 20 feet left there. Was pretty shocked at how much spin I got on it. But the wind was also hurting that shot, which helped me out a lot in terms of keeping the ball landing soft. So very makeable 15 to 18 footer for birdie here. Just trying to make a good stroke. And you can see the pin, the way it's blowing. The wind absolutely pushed that ball over there. I know this putt. I've had this putt before in tournaments. That putt breaks the opposite of how it broke normally. And, yeah, that's just wind affecting the ball. And that's another reason I've always struggled in the wind. It just messes with my mind a little bit when I'm putting, especially when you don't know how it's going to break. So on hole 7, still 1 over. Once again, just gripping way down the club, just trying to keep this ball as close to the ground as I can, knock off as much spin as I possibly can. Pull this one out a bit left. Was hoping it would hang on, but it went just a bit too far and landed pretty firm, and I knew I was in a bad spot there to the left. This doesn't look too bad, but this is incredibly fast. And there's really no way to get this shot close unless you just either hit the pin or just do something crazy. And I flew this maybe a little bit too far, but there's just no way I was going to hit that close. So, and this is a tough course. I think the rating on this course is almost a 76. So, and put on top of the fact that it was a very windy day, you know you're in for a tough day, especially if you miss like I did there. So, about 18 feet left for par. Not a bad putt, just left myself too long for par there. And I got to give Raspberry Falls a shout out. They really did a phenomenal job getting this course in this kind of shape this early in the year. Greens were rolling amazing. The course was great. I just would have liked to play a little better. So hole 8, 2 over now. Par 4, 443 yards. I started this right up the gut. And man, this wind just pulled it. It probably pulled it 20 yards left. And I don't know about you guys, but there's not much more that's irritating than hitting a great shot and then seeing wind kick up way out in front of you and then the ball just getting mercilessly pulled into the high stuff. That being said, not too bad of a lie. Was in a bit of a thicker grass, so I kind of had to be a little steeper with it. Make sure I got the club on it first. And that's another tip I would give you guys. If you guys are in high grass, especially if you're slower swing speed, your number one priority should be to make contact with the ball first in that instance. Because if you don't have a lot of club speed to work with in the first place, and you start going through that kind of grass and you don't hit the ball first, you're going to find your club slowing down a lot more to the point where you might not even be able to have enough speed to get the ball out of that grass. So that's a little tip I learned through the years to get it out of that bad stuff. So as I'm saying that, making a total mess of this hole. Another really bad bogey. At this point, I'm just dropping shots, being stupid. It's a really bad 3-putt there. For no reason to do that. So now hole 9, 3 over, par 5, 529 yards. Hit a pretty good drive here, up the right-hand side. Leaving myself in a very good position to attack this green in 2. So here I got, you can see the pitch mark there. Not getting much roll today. So I got 183 yards left. There is a bit of a burn that runs alongside the green on the right. And so I'm going to make sure I carry that. But at the same time, still trying to keep it a bit under the wind. But it was helping a little bit here, so I was trying to make sure that I got it up enough to get it over that creek. And I hit a great shot here. I think I had, about 18 feet here, 19 feet. Just did get it over the creek. Might not have been the worst idea to play an 8-iron, but at the same time, I'm obviously having a guard going long. So, got a putt for eagle here and for a 37. Make an okay stroke, but I ended up rolling it just a bit past. So, I will tap that in for my 38. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time.